pack this. Social media. I mean, from the moment we sort of squint at our phones in the morning to that last scroll before we, try to switch off at night, it's just woven into everything.
It really is. It's pretty much part of the daily routine now. We all have our own relationship with it, I guess.
Exactly. And I think everyone listening probably feels that too. But in this deep dive, we want to go a bit further, really understand what makes this whole digital world tick.
Mm-hmm. And we're kind of basing this on those casual chats people have all the time about their social media habits, which just shows how integrated it all is.
Right. So our mission today, let's try and get a clearer picture of how it all impacts us. The good stuff, the not so good stuff.
And everything in between.
Yeah. Think of it as your shortcut to maybe getting a better handle on this thing we all use constantly.
Okay, so where do we start? Maybe how did it even become normal? Like checking your phone first thing.
That's such a good point. It feels normal now, but if you actually stop and think.
It wasn't always like this. Not that long ago, really.
No, I mean, a decade ago, maybe a bit more, that wasn't the standard move, grabbing your phone immediately. Now, for so many people, me included sometimes, it's just a reflex.
You hear the ping or you just reach a quick look at Instagram, maybe down a TikTok rabbit hole before your feet even hit the floor.
Totally. So what's behind that? Is it just habit?
Well, partly habit, sure.
Yeah.
But I think it taps into something deeper, that human need for connection, for information. We want to know what's going on.
Like, what did I miss while I was asleep?
Exactly. And that connects to FOMO, right?
Yeah.
Fear of missing out, that little bit of anxiety that maybe everyone else is having these amazing experiences.
And you're not part of it.
Precisely. It's a surprisingly powerful feeling.
It really is. But okay, starting your day, comparing yourself to someone's holiday photos, or getting hit with stressful news headlines first thing, is that like the best way to kick things off?
Probably not, realistically.
Yeah.
That initial urge for connection is understandable, yeah. But the knock-on effect on your mood, your anxiety levels, that's definitely something we're thinking about.
Okay, but let's not just focus on the downsides. There's got to be good stuff too, right?
Right.
Social media isn't all bad.
No, absolutely not. Yeah. Think about making connections, like actual friends with people anywhere in the world. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah, finding your tribe online. People build whole communities around shared interests. You see it on Instagram. Loads of Facebook groups for hobbies support.
Totally. Those online spaces can be incredibly supportive. A real sense of belonging for some people.
And thinking back to, say, the pandemic.
Oh, definitely.
For people who were isolated, social media was, it was a lifeline, wasn't it? Staying in touch with family, friends, just feeling connected to the outside world.
A crucial tool in that situation.
Mm-hmm.
And linking that to learning.
Mm-hmm.
There's just so much stuff out there now. Educational pages, accounts, teaching languages, fitness, art.
It's like an endless library almost, if you curate it right.
Exactly. The potential to learn something new is massive.
Yeah, I even saw a tip for English learners, specifically just follow and engage with English content. It's kind of an easy way to soak up vocabulary, see how people actually talk.
That's a great practical example.
Yeah.
Okay, but let's shift gears a bit.
Mm-hmm.
We have to talk about the mental health side. It's a big topic.
It really is. And it's not just, anecdotes. There are studies showing links between heavy social media use and things like anxiety, depression, feeling more lonely, weirdly enough.
Especially among teens and young adults, the research seems to suggest.
Yeah. And a lot of that seems to come back to comparison, doesn't it?
It really does. That tendency for people to post, well, the highlights. The curated version of their life, the polished selfies, the achievements.
The highlight reel. Nobody posts the boring Tuesday afternoon or when they mess something up.
Exactly. And it's easy to forget that when you're scrolling. You start measuring your own sort of behind-the-scenes life against everyone else's perfect-looking reel.
Creates totally unrealistic standards. And then there's the whole trap of chasing likes, chasing views, needing that validation.
Yeah, that external validation loop can be really powerful and maybe not always healthy.
I read this one account, someone took a proper break from Instagram, just deleted the app for a while.
And what happened?
Said it was amazing for their mental health, less anxiety, less comparison, just felt lighter.
That makes sense. It shows that stepping away, even temporarily, can really help reset things.
Yeah, it's a reminder that you do have control. And maybe that idea of actively, curating your feed, following accounts that make you feel good or informed or inspired, not inadequate.
Focusing on positivity in real life rather than just chasing some impossible ideal. That seemed like a really smart strategy.
Definitely. Okay, so another angle, productivity, or maybe lack thereof.
Yes. The great social media time black hole.
That feels about right. You just pop on for a second to check one thing.
And suddenly it's an hour later.
Yeah. Where'd the time go?
It's where those built-in phone features can be, well, quite eye-opening. Things like screen time or digital well-being. They show you the cold, hard data.
Sometimes you don't want to see the data.
True. But knowing is half the battle, maybe. The average person spends, what is it, over 2 hours a day on social media.
Wow, really? That much?
That's a common statistic, yeah. And when you think about it, 2+ hours a day.
That time could be used for so many other things. Reading, exercise, learning a skill, just relaxing without a screen.
Or even just being more mindful when you are scrolling. Not just passive consumption, but actually thinking, why am I here? What am I getting out of this right now?
Mindful scrolling, I like that. Okay, what about relationships, our actual, connections with people? How does social media play into that?
It's definitely a mixed bag, I think.
Yeah.
On the one hand, fantastic for staying in touch with people who are far away, friends who've moved, family abroad.
True. Keep those connections simmering.
But it can also cause friction, can't it? Misunderstandings because text doesn't have tone. Maybe jealousy if you see your partner liking certain posts. Arguments about how much time someone's spending online.
Oh, yeah. That classic one. You see someone's active online, posting stories, but they haven't replied to your message from hours ago.
Exactly. It's easy for assumptions to creep in. And sometimes the way relationships are portrayed online, it could feel a bit performative, maybe? Like everything has to be documented and shared.
Yeah, the super public, we're so in love posts all the time. Can feel a bit much sometimes.
The key thing, probably, is remembering that real relationships, the deep stuff, happens offline mostly. Likes and comments aren't the same as, actual affection or support.
Having a nice moment now and then is fine, obviously.
Of course, in moderation. It's about balance. But wait, we shouldn't forget self-expression. That's a huge positive side.
Oh, definitely. Giving people a platform. Sharing your art, your music, your writing, your thoughts, whatever it is.
It really does give almost anyone a voice, potentially a global one. That's incredibly empowering for a lot of people.
Yeah, building confidence, connecting with people who appreciate what you do, and speaking out about things you care about, causes.
Absolutely. Think about us doing this right now. Reaching listeners potentially all over the place through platforms like YouTube or Spotify. It's democratized content creation in a massive way.
Good point. And it's not just personal stuff. It's huge for work and business now too, right?
Oh, completely. The whole world of influencers, content creators, digital marketers, those are careers that basically didn't exist before social media took off.
And for small businesses, game changer. Using Instagram or Facebook ads to reach customers.
It's leveled the playing field in some ways, give smaller players a chance to grow and connect directly with their audience.
Plus things like LinkedIn for purely professional networking, finding jobs, making contacts. It opens doors.
Definitely creates opportunities that just weren't there before.
Okay, so given all this, the good, the bad, the complicated, what can you, listening right now, actually do to make it healthier? How do you find that balance?
Boundaries seem to be the key word. Setting actual time limits on apps. Maybe using those phone features we mentioned.
Turning off notifications, that's a big one for me. Constant buzzing and pinging is so distracting.
Totally. And having screen-free time, especially like an hour before bed. That's supposed to really help with sleep.
Yeah, the blue light thing. And coming back to curating your feed, be selective about who you follow. Does this account make you feel good or does it drain you?
Be ruthless. Unfollow. Mute.
Yeah.
Make your feed a place you actually want to be.
And just remember, it's okay to log off. You don't have to be online 24/7. It's okay to miss stuff.
Absolutely. Take breaks. You won't miss that much, realistically.
So for us, personally, I find I use YouTube quite a lot, but for longer stuff, like deep dives or documentaries.
Yeah, me too. More intentional viewing, maybe? I do use Twitter or X for news, but I really try to limit how much time I spend scrolling there. It can get overwhelming fast.
Definitely. So what about you listening? What's your go-to app? How do you use it? Maybe let us know in the comments if you're listening somewhere you can do that.
Yeah, always interesting to hear different perspectives. And speaking of news, that's another huge shift, isn't it? How we get information.
Totally. Less appointment TV news, more scrolling through Twitter or seeing headlines on Instagram Reels or even getting news from memes.
It happens. The speed is incredible. Information and unfortunately misinformation spreads like wildfire.
Which brings us back to media literacy, being critical, checking sources. It's more important than ever to share something because it looks convincing.
Please don't. Fact-checking is crucial. And also managing that feeling of being bombarded, especially with bad news, that doom scrolling thing.
Ugh, yes. Just endlessly scrolling through negative story after negative story. It really messes with your head.
It does. Sometimes you just have to consciously put the phone down and step away for your own peace of mind.
Okay, let's lighten the mood slightly.
Yeah.
What about trends? Social media is famous for its weird and wonderful trends.
Huh. Yes. Like, remember silent walking?
Which is basically just going for a walk, quietly.
Exactly. But social media made it a thing.
Mm.
Or things like the ice bucket challenge, the mannequin challenge. They were everywhere for a while.
And TikTok dances? Oh God, the dances.
Don't tell me you haven't tried one.
Okay, maybe one, badly. But they're sort of silly fun, right? They bring people together, even in a fleeting way. It makes old things new sometimes.
You really do. And that leads into culture more broadly.
Yeah.
Social media is definitely shaping culture now. Fashion trends, slang, memes, obviously.
Yeah, things go global so fast now. A phrase starts somewhere online and suddenly everyone's saying it. And you learn about stuff from other places. I saw a video about making Turkish coffee. Tried it out.
Nice. See? Cultural exchange.
Yeah.
Even if it's just trying a Nigerian dance challenge badly, like you mentioned.
Hey. But yeah, it connects cultures in unexpected ways. And that connection can be really powerful for more serious things too, like social justice.
Absolutely. Think about movements like hashtag Black Lives Matter or hashtag MeToo. Social media was instrumental in giving them global reach, raising awareness.
Amplifying voices that might not have been heard otherwise. Giving marginalized groups a platform.
Definitely. But there's a responsibility there too, isn't there? Making sure the right message gets out, avoiding what's sometimes called performative activism.
Yeah, just posting a hashtag without doing anything else.
Right. Real action often needs to happen offline too, but it's undoubtedly a powerful tool for organizing and raising awareness.
So when does it cross the line? When does use become too much, like addiction territory?
It's a tricky one, but there are signs. The compulsive checking first thing and last thing, feeling really anxious or irritable if you can't get online.
Constantly checking for likes, comments, how your posts are doing.
Yeah, needing that validation from the screen. When your self-worth starts getting tied up in those online metrics, that's a danger sign.
So what helps if you feel like you're slipping into that?
Taking breaks is key. Maybe a digital detox weekend. Turn off the phone or at least the social apps. Some people find putting their phone on grayscale helps, makes it less visually appealing, less stimulating.
Grayscale. Interesting idea. Never tried that.
Worth a shot, maybe. It reduces that constant, colorful dopamine hit.
Okay, one more group to consider. Parents. Raising kids in this environment, that must be tough.
Oh, hugely challenging. Kids have access so young now. It's vital to teach them digital responsibility, what's okay to share, what isn't, how to deal with online bullying.
And leading by example, presumably, if the parents are glued to their phones.
Exactly. Kids notice that hypocrisy. Open communication is so important too. Talking about what they're seeing online, who they're talking to, making it a safe topic.
Creating that trust. Okay, so finally, let's circle back specifically to you if you're listening and working on your English. We touched on it earlier, but social media can be really useful, right?
Definitely. Don't underestimate it as a learning tool. You get exposed to real, current language, slang, expressions, how people actually pronounce things in short videos.
Yeah, watching videos, reading the captions, even trying to write comments in English, it's all practice.
And memes. They seem silly, but they often rely on cultural references and wordplay. Understanding them is actually quite a good sign of your language progress.
That's true. You start getting the jokes, and you can connect with other learners or even native speakers in comment sections or specific groups.
Lots of potential there for informal practice.
Okay, so wrapping this up, what's the big takeaway from this deep dive?
I think it's that social media is, well, it's powerful. Hugely powerful. It connects us, entertains us, educates us.
But it can also distract us, make us anxious, compare ourselves, feel overwhelmed.
Exactly. So it's not about quitting entirely, necessarily,
Yeah.
for most people anyway. It's about being wise, being intentional.
Using it consciously, making it a tool that serves you, not the other way around, not letting it become a trap.
Well put. Use it, don't let it use you.
Right. So maybe one final thought to leave you with. How much of our real selves do we actually show on social media?
That's a good question.
Think about it. The profiles we build, the photos we choose, the things we decide to share. or not share, there's often a lot of curation involved, isn't there?
Definitely an element of performance for many people, projecting a certain image.
Yeah. And how much energy does that take, maintaining that online persona? It's kind of like being the editor of your own personal magazine, constantly polishing and selecting the content. Is the person in the magazine the same as the person living the everyday life? Something to think about.